What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I am the House Hacking Mom, and today I'm going to show you how to make what I think is the absolute best potato soup recipe that I have ever come across. It is perfect for this fall weather that we are now having. So we're going to start here by prepping our vegetables. We have 5 or 6 medium carrots, 2 good sized onions, 5 stalks of celery, 5 medium potatoes, 2 pounds of ground beef, and about 6 good sized cloves of garlic and 1 fresh bunch of parsley. One of the reasons I love this recipe so much is because it taught me how to use ground meat in a soup. I'd never really known how to do that before, and now I have a way to use up ground beef other than just, spaghetti sauce or something like a lasagna or a chili. I have a way to use it up over the winter, and I'm so thrilled about that. And this recipe is absolutely delicious. I've made it multiple times. So we're going to start by dicing up all of our ingredients to roughly about the same size. It's not really a big deal, but just think about the size of these ingredients that you like to eat, and then you're just going to roughly mince up the garlic. So just looking at this board here, we can see that this is a lot of vegetables, quite a bit of carrots, onions, celery. So this is a very healthy soup. You're going to be getting a lot of vegetables in. So in a good sized Dutch oven, or you can use a stock pot as well, you're just going to heat it over medium-high heat, put in some olive oil, and then you are going to really get a nice brown on your ground beef. I have learned that with ground beef, you want to cook it at a fairly high temperature, and you really want to get a nice browned color on your meat. If you just cook it until it's slightly gray, it has no good flavor. You really want to brown it nicely before so that it doesn't get soggy and weird in the soup. So this is an important step. And then I do go ahead and season it with just some kosher salt and ground pepper. And the extra oil that I put in the pan here really just helps the meat to brown a little bit easier. And then you'll see that I'm going to drain it all in a paper towel. So all of that grease is not going to be going into your soup, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can see here with my spoon, I'm creating little pockets, kind of little holes in the meat where the steam can easily escape so that the meat will brown nicely and it won't steam and just stay gray. And this is especially important if you're using a pot that has a small surface area, and if your pot is really narrow, it might be better to do 1 pound of meat at a time. After about 10 minutes or so, when you feel like you got a nice brown color on your ground beef, you're going to scoop it out onto a paper towel and let it drain. And then I like to use a paper towel to also get out any of that extra grease, and then I'll leave just enough in there to brown my vegetables. So you can see all that delicious little bits of ground beef, very good fond left on the bottom of that pan, which is going to give all these onions a really great flavor. So I like to brown my onions the most, so I put those in first so they kind of get a head start and get nice and soft. I don't particularly care for crunchy onions in my soup. A lot of recipes will just have you put all the vegetables raw into the broth, and I don't prefer that because I find that they never really get truly soft. So I like to brown my vegetables first, and it gives you a chance to soak up all of that really yummy flavor on the bottom of the pan. And you are seasoning everything to taste. I'm just adding a little bit of salt here to help the onions release some water so that it's easier to get up the fond off the bottom of the pan. And then you're going to add in your celery. And once your onions and celery have sweated down a good bit, you're going to add your garlic and your carrots. I add the carrots last because I don't really enjoy really mushy carrots. I like them to have a little bit more bite to them, a little bit more firm. So I add them last, but you can add them in any order that you like. Or you can just brown them a little bit and go ahead and add your broth, whichever works best for you, but this is the way I prefer to do it. And that is one of the wonderful things about soup, is it is very adaptable and you can make it however you like it best. And now for the broth, I'm going to be adding about 6 cups of bone broth, and this is homemade bone broth and it makes all the difference. I know it sounds annoying when you are told that you have to make homemade bone broth, but you can just see the color. It's a completely different food than if you're getting the broth out of the can or out of the carton from the store. So I really do encourage you to try making your own bone broth. I have a recipe right here on my channel to really get the best flavor out of this soup. You're gonna bring this soup up to a simmer at this point, and then you're just gonna let it go until the potatoes are fork tender. For me, that was about 12 minutes, but it really depends how large you chopped up your potatoes. And then you're gonna add the ground beef back into the soup. And then I'm going to add the best ingredient, which is about 10 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. I would encourage you not to skip the cheese. It is so delicious in this soup, almost makes it kind of like a big cheeseburger, because you've got the potatoes in there like your fries, the ground beef, and the cheese. It is so good. And then just a really good handful of chopped parsley. And then I really like to crush my soup a little bit. I use just a potato masher, and that kind of helps to break up any bigger pieces of meat that are too big and to break up the potatoes, which adds really nice body to the soup. So it's not quite so thin, it gets nice and thick like a good potato soup. And this recipe will easily serve 8 to 10 people. We were able to eat this for supper and then eat it for lunch for the next several days. It was so nice to have something already made that I could pull from that was delicious and healthy. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and you give this recipe a try. I make videos and recipes like this all the time, as well as videos about frugal living, healthy eating, and minimalist parenting. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!